Hey guys, it's Sim and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Wednesday, and that means tonight was AEW Dynamite. Now, tonight's AEW Dynamite did come to us from the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia, the old ECW Arena, and I thought this was one of their better shows. I really did. I enjoyed the show. I thought, now here's one thing I did like, because AEW, when you think, oh, they're going to do a Falls Count Anywheres match, they're going to go over the top, be dumb, and do something that's stupid in this match. No, it was just a very good, super entertaining Falls Count Anywhere match with two very good pro wrestlers. So I'm happy in that aspect, especially because it was Darby. And I feel like Darby didn't really do anything stupid as far as risk taking. Now, he did the Javon Evans spot that we've seen already twice this week. So I'm like, why are you copying Javon in NXT? Who literally, if they left like maybe a week ago or a couple of weeks ago, they would have done that spot where they take Javon and throw him out of the ring, from in the ring onto the announce table. That would have been one thing. But they literally did it, what, twice in the last week? Was the Javon trick match last week on NXT? Because they did it in that match, and then they did it with the Obafemi match at the pay-per-view, the PLE. Let me see. Javon. When did he have the trick match? I want to say it was just last week. Matches. Yeah, it was last Tuesday on the 19th. So I'm like, oh, they're really doing this? We literally just saw this spot in WWE twice in the last week. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just a little criticism and no one else cares, but whatever, I guess. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited. I want to say sorry for the late start time. I've been working on other projects as well. Been a little extra busy. But we're here. We're going to talk Dynamite. And I want to say again, thank you if you're joining us here on Twitch. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited. If you're joining on YouTube, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, or listening on podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. Help us out by hitting that donate button down below, donating Twitch bits in the live chat, or subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription or with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube by hitting the subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos, when we go live, and when we post to the community tab. Also, remember to become a channel member if you're able to. Hit the join button, and then you'll get a badge next to your name, emotes and emojis that you can use in the live chat, our graphics packages, our graphics tutorials, and more. Also, remember that if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Games Store. Head over to the Epic Games Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. As far as AEW Dynamite does go, and let me just flip this for my notes. Boom. Okay. As far as AEW Dynamite does go, AEW comes on the air with Excalibur welcoming us to the show along Taz and Ian Riccaboni, and they're standing up. They're doing the, again, do I even dare say it? Do I even dare say it? They do the thing where they're standing up at the announce desk, but next to the ring, running down the card. Who else does that? Who did I say they copied earlier? NXT? Oh, well, NXT does that too. Especially when they're in when they're in the not PC, they usually do that for the open with Vic and Booker. So he's just copying NXT a couple of times here. I'm like, damn. God damn. But anyways, they run down the show, talk about the ending from Forbidden Door and the Death Riders putting Will Ospreay on the shelf indefinitely. And they basically make it sound like, or they're talking like they think there's a chance Will Ospreay never returns to the ring. They're like, whatever happens, we hope that he recovers well, or something like that. It was very like, yeah, hopefully he's just okay following his neck surgery. Not like we can't wait till he returns or anything like that. It's just hopefully he recovers from the injuries. It's like, damn, okay. But they were cut off by FTR, who came out with Stokely Hathaway. Harwood said that unfortunately at Forbidden Door, there was a miscarriage of justice surrounding their match, and those fans in Philadelphia were upset that they're not able to celebrate their 11th World Tag Team title reign of FTR. That was met with some shut the fuck up chants. And Taz said, "Welcome to Philly." Harwood said that he was pinned by someone who wasn't even a legal man. So he wants to know, what happened there. And he actually wants to speak to Paul Turner, the referee. And I'm like, was that the truth? Was that the case? So much was going on at the end of that match with the finish being botched, and then the whole Ricochet and the Agony guys pulling away the Hurt Syndicate. It's like it was just so much going on. I didn't even notice that it wasn't the legal man, because I think it was Brody pinned Dax. Cash was trying to break it up. Bandito, yeah. Anyways, so Harwood called him an incompetent moron, a failure, and demanded Turner admit that he was wrong and overturn his decision from Sunday, making them the tag team champions. I'm sitting here going, well, he's not going to do that. He's not going to. He can't overturn the decision like that. It's been 2 minutes, too long. If it was in the moment, maybe, but no. So Turner apologized, but said that his decision is final. What do they always say? Ref's decision is final. We ain't going back on it. Stokely ripped the microphone away and called Turner a moron and a nincompoop who wants to appease to the fans online, demanding Turner hop off the internet and hop off the fat asses on there and do the right thing. Stokely shoved Turner, and FTR stepped between the two until Copeland's music would hit and he and Christian would storm the ring. Christian would come in, sneaking up from behind, and laid out Stokely with a kill switch as the brawl with Copeland, Cage, and FTR was on. They brawled all over ringside, being separated by security and referees. And I will say, the 2300 Arena looked great tonight for this show. But it's like, okay, it's cool for one night. How many shows we're actually getting here? It's like 6 or something? Going into these different looking venues, and we saw this when they were in Chicago. It's cool for one night, maybe 2. But then it's like, all right, give us something different. All right, go somewhere else. Unlike when you're in the big, it's different because I know what people are going to say. Well, when they go to the bigger buildings, they all look the same as well. Like every WWE show looks the same. That's different because that is, they're in an arena and those just look big and generic. But then when you get these special looking buildings, eventually the special wears off is what I'm trying to say. But they're all brawling. Eventually, it's Kirsten and Cope left in the ring. FTR's at ringside and everything. And Cope lays it all out. He says, hey, we took care of Christian's problem. Or I think Christian said, we took care of my problem at Forbidden Door. Now it's time to take care of Adam's problem. And Adam Copeland says that he already got it approved. Talked to Tony Khan at All Out in Toronto, their hometown. It's going to be CNC versus FTR, and that is official for September 20th. CNC versus FTR in Toronto. Excalibur did say, yep, Tony Khan has made it official. He had a graphic and everything. So Christian and Cope went to Tony essentially before the show and asked for the match. That's basically what happened. And I'm like, cool. That all makes sense. Because I hate when a match gets made in the ring and 10 seconds later they got a graphic. That's so unrealistic. Especially I'm a graphic designer. I know how this shit works. It don't work that fast. Yes, if you have everything laid out in a template, you can get it done maybe in a good 3, 4, 5 minutes. But it don't work 30 freaking seconds. 20 freaking seconds. Give me 1 second. All right. Those at the main event tonight will be Darby Allin versus Claudio Castagnoli in the Falls Count Anywhere's match. They had a video with Darby that was, oh boy, this is a Darby video if you ever seen one. So Darby's still bleeding from the ear in this video. He takes his blood and he starts painting on a canvas with it. What? You gotta be kidding me. In the video package, he apologized for those who wish he died on Mount Everest. But he's still here. Sorry that I survived, basically what he said. He's now ready to take everything from Jon Moxley. He said it wasn't just about the AEW World title. No, he's going to take down Moxley and take his career, destroy the Death Riders. And then he talked about seeing the bodies when climbing the mountain. He said all the moments that the Death Riders have taken from people in AEW, he said he is going to take from them. Moxley better not step foot in the ring unless he's willing to die with Darby. He said it all out. He's taking everything from Jon Moxley. And I didn't see if this was official. Chat, let me know. I didn't see a graphic or anything. Is Darby and Moxley official for All Out? But he said, as this, this video starts showing him kind of ripping the bandage off his ear, getting the blood on his hands and painting with it. And there we go. So, yeah, looks like it's going to be Darby versus Jon Moxley at All Out. And they need to freaking, what's the word I'm looking for? Load up that show. They're going up against WWE on ESPN for the first time. WWE's first show on ESPN, going to be main evented by Brock Lesnar and John Cena. I'm just going to say right now, that's the show we're watching live. We'll do the AEW review the next morning on the wrap-up, Monday. Maybe there won't. I got to figure that one out. Maybe the wrap-up's just later in the day. I have more time to watch it because I don't know if it's an AEW show, you watch Ready like a 3-hour WWE show, then you review it for an hour, then you go watch another 5 hours of All Out because Tony Khan's shows are going to go long. I got to figure all that out. How I'm going to watch it all. We'll figure it out though. We got a month, a little less than a month, but yeah, basically that is set as well. And they got to get something big for this show, like I stated, because they're going up against. It's going to be, we know, ish. I guess you would say, Brock and John, and then Cody defending the world title against the WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre. I know my brain died there for a second. And then I'm trying to think what else we could. Stephanie Vicure, her title match is probably going to be there. Whoever they're having her face for the vacant women's world title, and then we go on. WWE, A, being the first one on ESPN, they're going to load it up. B, being head to head with AEW, they're going to load it up. So. Oof. We'll see how it goes. But Jon Moxley, speaking to him, did have a match with Daniel Garcia. No freaking clue why this match took place. This didn't make sense. Daniel Garcia ain't doing nothing with Moxley and the Death Riders. So my big question is, why did this match have to happen? But it was a good match, though. Moxley controlled early on, but Garcia was able to slow things down with the dragon screw through the ropes. We did have Yuta and Shafir at ringside. They kind of helped out a little bit at one point until Daddy Magic came down to support Garcia, who picked Moxley's ankle back inside the ring for an ankle lock. Moxley scurried outside and regrouped. Give me 1 second. I'm getting work messages for a project we're working on. We're trying to pitch for a job. All right. So things return after a commercial break. Moxley's in control, raking the back and biting at the forehead of Daniel Garcia. He's got him trapped in the Tree of Woe. Moxley joined him in the corner, started stomping and slapping Garcia. Both men eventually get to their feet after a big superplex. And Moxley started absorbing clotheslines, but not really selling too much. I mean, he did go down and get pinned for a 2 or pin attempt, I guess you would say. But after trading pin attempts, Moxley exploded out with a cutter, but Garcia held on to the ropes and avoided a paradigm shift. At one point, Moxley made it to the ropes after Garcia put him in a half crab, and he went to the outside again to get some separation. He then hit a throat chop and a DDT on the steel steps, but Garcia just made it into the ring at the 9, sidestepping a curb stomp. Garcia applied a dragon tamer, but Moxley got out of it with a bulldog choke attempt. Garcia rolled through and hit a pile driver, but Moxley kicked out. Each man then traded inside cradles until Moxley was able to sneak out a flash victory, pick up the win, and barely beat Daniel Garcia. And I'm like, I wish for the way they've been pushing Moxley, and he's got the match with Darby and all of that, I wish it was a more decisive victory. Moxley is a guy that you shouldn't have just sneaking into a win. Surviving, I guess you would say. Unless it's against the world champion. If it's in a world title match or something, that's different. But yeah, Moxley gets the win, but again, I wanted a more decisive victory here for Jon Moxley. Second. So post-match, Moxley handed a microphone to Wheeler Yuta, who said to Darby Allin that the answer is no about All In. What was going on? Moxley approached Garcia ringside and tried to whisper something to him, but Garcia was having none of it. I don't know what he was saying. Moxley and Shafir then left. Yuta then stared at Garcia, who kind of chucked a chair at the ring post, all pissed off, repeatedly shoving the cameraman as well. I'm like, okay, if you're going to tease this heel turn, don't put him in the Death Riders. I don't need to see Daniel Garcia and the goddamn Death Riders. They got enough people in there. We go to a break. We come back, and Wheeler Yuta's in the ring again with the microphone. He said he had a lot left to say. He said, Philly, this is my town. I used to work in this building, helping set up the ring and all that kind of stuff. And they're giving him the FU chance and whatnot. And he's like, he said, Yuta trained and busted his ass in this building. And what are you getting me now? FU chance. He said it used to bother me, but until I became a Death Rider. Now none of it bothers me. So your chants don't mean shit. Yuta brought up Ospreay being taken out on a stretcher, Forbidden Door, Chuck Taylor's career being ended, and Bryan Danielson being destroyed as well. The lights then go out. And you hear him go, hey, what's going on? Who's this? And out comes the returning Hook. Hook makes his way out to the ring. Yuta charges and misses. Hook then sank in a red rum before waffling Yuta with a Superman punch. Yuta then scurried away as Hook stood tall, and he is officially now back. Looks like he's jacked up a little bit too. Like, I wouldn't call him jacked, but it looks like he's put on some more muscle since the last time we saw Hook. Which I'm like, okay, I like that. Hook kind of bulking up a little bit, I guess you would say. That's pretty good to see. That's good to see. So cameras cut to the back, and it's MJF following his match. I guess it was like a video, it was on social media throughout the week or whatever. And he basically talked about how he's screwed by Tony Khan because he can't just whenever cash in his contract. He's got to make it official and do it in advance and all that. And he's pretty pissed off about it. But he said he does want to go back against Hangman. He does want to cash in his contract, but he's got to get through Mark Briscoe first because Mark Briscoe's been costing him everything. Once he gets through Mark Briscoe, he's going to take Hangman's title and take his soul. He said that Briscoe, I'm coming for you, and Paige, you're next. And then a little fast forward later, we get a video from goddamn Mark Briscoe, and he's just like, hey, Kyle Fletcher, I want to challenge you for the TNT title. Let's go, you and me, right here in Philly. I love Philly. This building be good to me. And I'm like, wait, I thought they were still doing you and fucking MJF. MJF literally just set the stage for it earlier, and he's just moving on. So there's that, for starters. But then also, it's like, what has he done to deserve a shot at the TNT title? Yeah, Mark Briscoe's great. Won some matches recently, but the big ones, he's all lost. Mark Briscoe hasn't done jack shit to earn himself a title shot. And then I had someone go, as I tweeted and go, how's Mark Briscoe? How are they going to have Mark Briscoe trying to get a title shot against Kyle Fletcher when he's in a story still with MJF, and MJF said they're working together or whatnot? And someone goes, you can't have two storylines at once? I think this company is already confusing enough with their storylines where you got guys doing multiple things at once. Fuck no. Hell no. Anyways, we had tag team action here. It was Harley Cameron and Chris Statlander against Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. As far as this match does go, crowd was sort of into it, but not fully into it. Like, they were liking it at times, but it was kind of hit and miss. Cameron and Statlander, Excalibur said to Ian Riccaboni, they stole their routine. I'm like, what? I don't know what they're talking about, but whatever. Statlander used her speed early on in power to keep Ford down. She controlled with the tilt-a-whirl into a backbreaker, fast tags and double teams from Cameron and Statlander, who deliver a delayed vertical suplex until Bane tagged in. Cameron demanded a tag, wanting revenge for her broken nose. She was denying Bane a test of strength, attempt with headbutts to the face. Cameron was caught in the corner, and she was ragdolled as well. Ford eventually did tag back in. They kept Harley Cameron isolated on their side of the ring. Later on in the match, there was a combination pendulum back suplex face buster connected on Ford from the baby faces, but Bane flew in with a running boot, only to be met with a Statlander discus lariat to kind of reset things. Bane and Statlander slugged it out with forearms and kicks until Ford made a blind tag. On the floor, Cameron takes out Bane with a tilt-a-whirl as Statlander caught a diving Ford with a crossbody into an electric chair. Statlander wrapped Ford up with like a pretzel and got her with a submission victory. So the babyfaces do get the win. But then after the match, Bane attacked Harley on the floor and ramped up the fight again with Chris Statlander in the ring. Willow would then run out, Willow Nightingale. She hit the ring as Ford pulled Bane to safety while Cameron hugged both Nightingale and Statlander, raising both of their hands. And I'm like, what did Willow do? Willow ran down and they just ran off. Like she did nothing, but whatever. Commentary then goes, it's kind of weird. Statlander, Willow, they got a history here. And, who knows what's going on? Like they were so confused. They were so confused because it's like, are they friends? Are they not? They've hated each other. They've liked each other. Harley's in the middle now, liking both of them. What's going on? Like, exactly. We're just as confused as commentary. Commentary shouldn't be telling us that they're so confused. They should be trying to explain things to us. Now, you could be a little confused, being like, we've seen them as friends. We've not seen them as friends. But it looks like maybe they're, like, try to justify. Maybe they're coming together with a mutual friend in Harley Cameron. No, Excalibur's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. So that was, yeah. Then we got the worst fucking thing I've seen on a wrestling show in a while. They got celebration for Mercedes Moné. Renee's in the ring. They got a table with 8 of her belts. And she goes, ladies and gentlemen, let's bring out TBS champion and 9 belts, Moné. So she comes down to the ring. She's got her TBS title on, but all the other belts are in the ring on this table. And so basically, she comes down and just starts talking herself up. Okay, cool. She's the heel. She's the cocky heel. Talk herself up. But then she starts going on about, Ultimo Dragon. Everyone talks about him having 10 titles. I'm going to blow that out of the water. I'm going to have so many more titles than he did. So I'm just going to say it. Any woman in the world with a belt, just know I'm coming forward and I'm taking your title. I said, no, you're not. You're going to go get JC Jane's title in NXT? You're going to get Ash by Elegance title in TNA? You're going to go get Becky Lynch's title in WWE? Tiffany Stratton? No. So don't say any woman in the world, I'm coming for your title. I'm going to take it because I want all the belts. No, that's not true. Very not true. And then she's all talking about all the girls in the 4-way and everything. And Renee goes, well, you didn't mention Alex Windsor. And she goes, oh, you mean Alex Windsor? And she starts making fun of Alex Windsor's name and calling her names and whatnot. And goes, oh, yeah, she's just mad because her man was dancing up on me. Anytime you want to go, William. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then she talks about being the Rev Pro champion and how she's going to be a better Rev Pro champion than Windsor ever was. And I'm sitting here going, all right, cool. They're trying to set something up with her and Alex Windsor again. Alex Windsor's going to come out and no. She's over here talking shit on Alex Windsor. All this stuff. All this, I'm going to steal your man from you. Your man likes dancing with me better than he likes you. And then nothing. And she's over here going, Will, he's in the hospital, and I could put Alex right next to him. They could just be in hospital beds right next to one another. And I'm like, okay, Alex Windsor's going to come out and be like, hey, stop talking about me and my family or whatever, right? Nothing. Mercedes then just goes, Renee, can we be done with this so I can dance? And Renee's like, fuck it. She just walks off like she was done. This was so stupid, so dumb, ridiculous. And I guess you could say they're setting up her and Alex Windsor again, but I don't even know. Because it's like she kept talking shit, even said that I can steal your man from you if I wanted to. And then I assume Windsor wasn't there. If she was, very missed opportunity, very dumb segment regardless. Now maybe Alex Windsor was with Will Ospreay. They stayed in the UK and they didn't fly to the States. But yeah, this was not good. This was bad, beyond bad. Like, Jesus Christ. Mr. The Spot, there is no on time. He says, reacting at 1 a.m. because you're too late. Okay, maybe because I have other jobs and stuff that I do as well. Maybe I have other responsibilities. You don't like it, you don't gotta watch. Or you can watch later when it's not live anymore. But I don't have a boss that tells me what time I have to start my live stream and post my videos. I am the boss. I run this thing. So, yeah. Just saying, guy. Why is it hard to just get on time right after? There is no on time. Again, there is no on time. I can come live whenever I want. There's nothing, there's no rule, there's no law that says, oh, I got to be on as soon as the show's over, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whenever the show's over. If I'm working on another project for my other job, my business, my company, trying to pitch to get a job for that company, working on graphics for the pitch deck, then I'm going to finish that when there's a deadline there. There's no deadline here. If I wanted to, I could do this in the morning. So just saying, guy, you're not my boss. Don't tell me what to do. This is when we got the video with Mark Briscoe talking about, he loves the 2300 arena. This is where the Briscoe brothers were born, were made, were turned into legends. And then he starts talking about, he says like, Moxley, or no, MJF, Forbidden Door, you didn't win, ha, 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 but now I want a title shot against Kyle Fletcher. So he called out Kyle Fletcher, says we should do this match in Philly. But I don't know if that's going to be on a Collision or on a Dynamite, but sure. I thought they were doing him and MJF again. Whatever. Then we got the I don't care about it party match that a lot of people don't care about these matches. Like we see it on social media all the time. Why are we doing, we get the comments all the time. Why are we doing another one of these all-star 8-man tags? Just so you can load the show up with a bunch of random people that are barely going to do anything? It was Unified Champion Kazuchika Okada, Takeshita, Josh Alexander, and Hechicero versus Bandito and Brody King, and then Jet Speed, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Kevin Knight. And good action, cool spots, but there was nothing of significance, nothing of note, nothing special, nothing happened in this match. Callis did his long-winded, I gotta announce all my people here. Look, Hechicero and Takeshita, and then Okada comes out by himself with his own, what? And then we got freaking Wardlow's out there. Wardlow returned. Here's the fucking thing, guys. Wardlow returns at the pay-per-view and then he's just there. What did I say? And people were shitting on me. Let it play out. You don't know they're going to book him yet. Wardlow was just there with the family. Not even... All you dumb sons of bitches on Twitter telling me, you don't know that he's just going to be the muscle, an extra in the Don Callis family. Wait and see how they use him. How they use him? They didn't even use him. He was just there standing with them at ringside with Don while the other guys got to work the match. Why did we need Hechicero in this match? Why did we need, no offense, Josh Alexander in this match? Why couldn't it have been Wardlow, who fucking just returned on Sunday? You want to get us excited that Wardlow is back? Tell us that, yes, he's in the Don Callis family, but he's going to be featured? Then you put him in this match. Or you give him his own match, a squash match. That's what they should have fucking done. Had him face some Philly jobber. You remember those old Wardlow 30-second matches? Do those again. Something. But no. They got Wardlow out here walking out with Don. Don't get his own music, his own entrance, no nothing. And just standing there as Don's introducing, we got the newest member, Hechicero. He's great from across the border. We've got the greatest, the winner of the G1, Takeshita. And then it's like he even gives special interest for Josh Alexander and shit. And it's just like, you want us to be excited the Wardlow's back, but you're using Wardlow the exact same you always had, as an extra guy on TV. That's all Wardlow is. An extra. A lackey, a muscle. a number spot, a spot on the roster to fill a quota. We want X amount of people on the show and on the roster. We'll just fill it with Michael Wardlow. Yeah, so dumb. So dumb. And I said it on Sunday. When he hugged Don, I said, oh no, he's just a muscle for the Don Callis family. And this proved it here. He's just another extra guy in the Don Callis family. No different than a Josh Alexander. No different than a Hechicero. No different than a Lance Archer. Maybe worse than them because he didn't even get to be in this match. Lance Archer wasn't either, but I don't even remember seeing Lance Archer out there. If he was, he was. I don't remember. But it's just like, fuck, guys. What are we doing here? Wardlow comes back. People are excited. And then nothing. No follow-up. Like, to be honest, if I didn't see Wardlow standing there, I wouldn't have even known he was there. Because again, commentary didn't mention him that I heard. Don didn't say anything about him that I heard. He wasn't featured. He wasn't highlighted. Hey, look, Wardlow was here with us, but here's the guys. At least he should have said something. And I apologize if I missed it, but fucking dumb. You bring back Wardlow, somebody that the fans have been, I don't want to say crying for, I guess you could say, asking, where's Wardlow? When's Wardlow coming back? Where's Wardlow? Wardlow. And then they do nothing with Wardlow. And I know I'm going to get those comments again. Let it play out. Well, I let it play out for a couple days. And the first thing they do after the return, they make him look strong by beating up a bunch of security. And then he comes back and not even get to work. To just stand there and look pretty. As far as this match does go, a lot of action, cool spots, but it was just there. Where was I? They're talking about how, Bandito will be defending this Friday the ROH World title against Hechicero at Death Before Dishonor. So that's why Hechicero had to be in the match. But, why did... I'm not going to do it again. We could have just replaced Josh Alexander with freaking Wardlow. Because Wardlow should have been in this match. But I digress. As far as the match does go, lightning fast action, quick pin attempts early on, some takedowns and a Cazador arm drag had Bandito standing tall, posing. Hechicero was tagging into Takeshita. Bandito quickly escaped and tagged in Brody King, who connected with a double senton on Alexander and Takeshita. Fast tags from Jet Speed until Bailey was grounded and Okada and Takeshita tagged in at the same time. This led to a face-off. Each got back on the same page initially, but King returned to the favor and ran them both over with a clothesline and a cannonball off the apron to the outside. After a commercial break, Don Callis made a Danny Hodge comparison to Josh Alexander on commentary, which Taz kind of questioned. Callis was 90 years old or something, making that reference. King then made a hot tag and cleaned house, including to Okada, the Big Boss Man Slam. Hechicero then dodged a corner cannonball as Alexander hit a stalling German. At one point, Okada was going to charge at Bailey in the corner, but Takeshita pulled him out of the way and dropped Bailey into the LED boards. And there was a little face-off between Takeshita and Okada, and Don's like, oh, I need to go check on this. So Bandito put a stop to it and mowed down Okada, though, as Hechicero low-bridged King. We're seeing that there's going to start being, I don't know if they're going to, make Takeshita a babyface. I think that's where it's going to go. I don't know. I think Takeshita's the one that he's getting this big push in New Japan. He's now being kind of overlooked by Don because now Don's so ingrained in Kyle Fletcher, who we didn't even see out here for this either. They got the whole Don Callis family, no Kyle Fletcher. Anyways, so I think Takeshita is eventually going to be like, oh, you started this family with me, basically, when you dumped Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. But now, I'm just overlooked because I don't got a belt anymore. I can see something like that. But I think we're seeing some tension between Takeshita and Okada. Don said, oh, shit, it's not what we need. Takeshita hit a somersault plancha onto a pile on the outside. Back inside, Bailey tried a flash pin on Alexander. Okada made the save, tried a Rainmaker. Bailey ducked, and Okada took out Knight with the springboard clothesline. Alexander was then planted by Bailey, who went up top for a shooting star press, but Alexander moved and got an inside cradle and got the win. Goddamn, Josh Alexander gets the win. But again, another way is flash out of nowhere dumb finishes. So, yeah. I don't know about that one. Like I said earlier, why are we just getting all these? And WWE does it too, and I criticize them. All these flash roll up out of nowhere wins, where no one's looking strong. Oh, you don't want so and so to look weak. Well, then have somebody else take the pin. Dumb. Hangman comes out. He's next after a break. Power walked into the ring. Huge ovation from the crowd. Paige said before he gets started, he wants to thank Will Ospreay for everything that he's done for himself and for All Elite Wrestling. Paige genuinely is sorry for everything that's happened to Ospreay since All In, and says that while he's gone, all of us will miss him. Recover, heal up. When the time is right, you can come back here. Be the best and challenge me for the World Championship. Paige said that regarding the title, MJF had a chance and failed. Threw everything at him, and it wasn't enough. He still failed. Everything MJF has done in the past, now he must give a 7-day notice to cash in the contract. But whenever MJF chooses to do, he chooses to sign it, he will, well, get beat before the ink is even dry. But I don't think ink takes 7 days to dry there, old hanger. Don Callis then interrupts. Don comes out and basically says he wants somebody in his group to get the world title. He wants to have all the power yet again. He said, yeah, I had a world champion before, but then I had to drop him because he was weak. Talk about Kenny Omega. Callis says that he wants the title back in his family. And Paige doesn't get to decide who gets the shot, though. There's a whole locker room back there wanting a shot. He knows that since he has half of that locker room under contract, or something like, yeah, no shit, which is stupid. He said, this ain't gonna make a difference. One of my guys will face you. Rocky Romero, Hechicero, Josh Alexander, Lance Archer, they all surround the ring. Paige hits a slingshot dive on Alexander to the outside before numbers become too much. Jet speed run out to try to make the save. Till Callis is handed a steel baton, at least that's what they told us it was, from Rocky Romero, as Bailey got blasted in the ribs. Kenny Omega's music would hit. This man looked like $1 million, a total top star main eventer, and runs down to the ring. Hechicero tries to meet him on the aisleway, but he takes a V-trigger knee to the face. There's a snapdragon aplenty to Rocky and Alexander as Archer tried to chokeslam, but Omega got the baton and got free. Jet speed hit dueling dives on Romero and Alexander while Paige and Omega dusted off everything in the ring. And they took out Archer with a buckshot V-trigger. Omega hugged Paige, and Jet speed joined them to stand tall. So I'm a little confused here, because it's like, okay, Omega's here to help Hangman. Why? Because Don talked crap about him for a half a second? Or does he want to go after Hangman? Does he want a shot at the title? If it's going to be somebody from Don's group, though, who? Who is the person that's going to challenge in the Don Callis family? Like, you look at it, it's the only one that makes sense would be Takeshita. Is it Takeshita? I don't see it being Okada because he's got belts. I don't see it being, I'm trying to think of everybody in the family. Not Josh Alexander, not Rocky or Trent, which we didn't see Trent tonight. Not Kyle Fletcher, he's got a belt. Takeshita's probably the one that makes sense. Not Hechicero. Not, I'm trying to think who else. Not Lance Archer, no. I think I said Wardlow already. So, yeah. We'll see how it plays out, but I don't know what went on here other than this set up a big old all-star tag for next week. Who is it? It's Hangman, Kenny, and Jet Speed against Kyle Fletcher, Josh Alexander, and the Young Bucks. Like, where the fuck did all that come from? Like, I get Hangman, Kenny, and Jet Speed taking on Don Callis family, right? Right. But Fletcher wasn't out there. So what does Fletcher have to do with this, even though he's part of the family? And the Young Bucks. What the hell? Why the Young Bucks? That makes no sense to me. Like, Fletcher was called out by Mark Briscoe. So if we're going that route and Mark's not working MJF immediately, then Fletcher should be worried about Mark Briscoe. No, he's got to be in this random who gives a fuck match. And then the Young Bucks. Why are the Young Bucks in this? They didn't come down. They didn't get involved. AEW does this bullshit all the time, where they just throw random people in matches together for no reason. I saw someone on Twitter go, why'd Jet Speed come out to make the save? That makes a little sense because they had just taken on the Don Callis family. Bailey just got pinned by Josh Alexander. So it's like, no. We don't want to see them get any more upper hands on anybody. We're going to come help, even though they just beat us. So that made a little sense. But it's like, Fletcher, you got other things to deal about, bud. Even though you're part of the family, sure, whatever. But if Fletcher was out there during all of this and I didn't see him, but if he was out there, then that'd be one thing. But again, like I stated, all I saw out there was Rocky Hechicero, Josh Alexander, and Lance Archer. I don't even know what to say. Loss for words. We got a video package hyping up the ROH Women's title match this weekend at Death Before Dishonor. Athena versus Mina Shirakawa. Toni Storm was standing with Mina. And I guess this was taken after Forbidden Door. She said, Athena is beatable, defeatable, and eatable. And Mina is the love bum that will devour her and take her title. She asked Shirakawa, how's your hand? Is it still hurt? And so to show Toni Storm, this cracked me up. To show Toni Storm her hand's not hurt, she slaps the crap out of Toni Storm, and Toni goes, my God, you're back. Athena then told Renee Paquette that she'll toss Shirakawa off the roof of the 2300 arena if that's what she wants, because basically Mina said, yeah, I'm back. I want to fight her up on the roof. I swear to God, if this match becomes a roof match, holy shit. But she said she would throw her off the 2300 arena. She made a Blue Meanie reference and said what she does to Mina will make the Sandman piss his pants. I'm like, oh, okay. Now they kind of have to deliver. They got to get to the roof. Am I wrong? They're teasing fighting on the roof. Do they got to get to the roof? I think they got to get to the roof. I think fucking Mina and Athena need to fight on the roof now. So then we had the trios titles on the line. It was the Ops defending against Ricochet and Gates of Agony. And if you said, when was this announced? It was announced about an hour before the show started. Yeah. They announced a title match about an hour before the show started. And Jake Hager's been doing a bunch of interviews. He did one with Saraya. He was on her podcast. He did Chris Van Vliet. He did Sports Kita. And he kept saying a lot of things about Tony Khan and his booking. And how Tony Khan once told him, and Dak said this isn't true, but I'll take Jake Hager's word, whatever. And Tony Khan one time busted in on a meeting that the locker room was having and said, you guys, listen to what I say. If I'm going to book you in a 6-man 6 minutes before the show, you're going to do it. Whatever I say goes. Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. And then this match gets booked. A 6-man, an hour before the show. Like, we're supposed to believe Jake Hager or what? Anyways, as far as this match does go, it was fine. It was all just a catalyst for the Hurt Syndicate to come out and screw Ricochet and Gates of Agony. That's all it was. They screwed the Hurt Syndicate out of the tag titles. So the Hurt Syndicate screwed them out of winning the Trios Championships. Hobbs immediately no-sold Ricochet's offense early on. The two went back and forth before Ricochet was slammed down. Bishop Khan eventually made a blind tag, but was ran over with a shoulder tackle, leading to Shibata coming in. The two battled it out with some forearms and chops and whatnot. This led to a stalling corner dropkick by Shibata. Ricochet got a cheap shot in from the apron, leading to Shibata getting the boots put to him on the outside as we go to a commercial break. When we come back, Shibata was worked over the entire break. But eventually he did get back into the ring, tagged in Hobbs. Hobbs was able to get the better of Toa Liona as Joe makes a tag and lights up Ricochet with a snap power slam and a running senton for a 2. There's a muscle buster broken up by Liona as Khan flew in with a shotgun dropkick and Liona hit a pounce. Hobbs then suffered the same fate, but Khan ran straight into an STO. At one point, Ricochet went for the pin on Joe, but Shibata broke up the cover. Shibata then sank in a rear naked choke on Leoa, who rolled to the apron as Ricochet went to the top, but was cracked in the back by somebody who we find out was MVP in his cane. Referee didn't see it. It was Aubrey Edwards. Hobbs then hit a spine buster. Shibata hit a PK. Joe sank in a coquina clutch and got the victory with a submission. Cool. At least it's made sense from the pay-per-view. You screwed them out of their titles. They're screwing you out of these titles. Hey, look at that. Some sort of consistent booking. After the match, the Ops left, and Gates of Agony held up Ricochet. They made it seem like Ricochet was beat to shit, but they dropped him as the Hurt Syndicate music played. They all brawled, and then they brawled to the back, leaving Ricochet to recover by himself in the ring. Cool. this is whatever. But before we get to the main event here, which is a really fun Falls Count Anywhere match, let's hear from our sponsor. Does the summer heat got you sweating through your shirt before noon? Maybe it's time to chill with an AECOOLY handheld fan. This pocket-sized powerhouse is your secret weapon against scorching temps. Whether catching rays listening to music or just looking to get a great tan, it brings the breeze right when you need it. With 3 speed settings, a rechargeable battery that lasts up to 10 hours, and a whisper quiet motor, the AECOOLY fan delivers cool comfort without the buzz or bulk. Toss it in your bag, clip it to your desk, or have it right by your side at all times. It's compact, stylish, and oh so convenient. So why melt when you can breeze through summer? Use our link in the description below, scan the QR code on the screen, or head over to pwunlimited.co/AECOOLY. That's AECOOLY now for coolin' in the palm of your hand. And we're back. Main event, Falls Count Anywhere match. Claudio Castagnoli, Darby Allin. This match was fun. I really enjoyed this match. Again, I saw Falls Count Anywhere, and I'm sitting here going, shit, they're going to do some stupid stuff. They're going to go over the top. And they really didn't. This was just a really good, fun, well-booked Falls Count Anywhere match. Castagnoli was walking backstage to make his entrance when he was attacked from behind by Darby Allin. Allin leapt off of a loading trailer and attacked him. Castagnoli quickly threw him into a shopping cart and crashed him into a bunch of set-up chairs before grabbing a flat-screen TV, slamming Darby on it. That had to hurt. He brought him out onto the entrance area, which they had a cool, basically like an ECW-style entrance deal, which is cool. Castagnoli delivered a giant swing into the barricade, got a 2 off of it. Allin responded by flying through the ropes with a dive before scaling one of the big giant truss beams deals and hitting a coffin drop on it. Darby then charged at him, but Castagnoli hit a massive pop-up uppercut and got a 2 off of it. Castagnoli demanded that commentary clear out. And I'm like, okay. He then pressed Darby up over his head, ran from one side of the ring to the other, and threw him onto the commentary table. And my first thought was, didn't I see this with Javon Evans twice last week? 2 times. Once on their PLE and once on NXT. Oh, yeah, I did. But I get what this was supposed to be. They're in the ECW arena. It was a callback to Bam Bam Bigelow and Spike Dudley. Cool. I get that. But when we just saw this spot on the opposition show twice in a week, maybe you don't do it this week. Maybe you do it another week. Or maybe you just don't do it at all. Because that's the only thing I was thinking of in the moment. I was like, didn't we just see this spot in NXT multiple times? And then I was like, but didn't they do something like this with Bam Bam throwing Spike into the crowd? They're not going to throw Darby into the crowd per se, but they're going to get him close as they can, so crash on the announce table. But again, think of what we just saw from the opposition. You know what I mean? During a commercial break, Castagnoli threw a bunch of chairs into the ring, set up tables in the corner. Allin desperately tried to fight back, though. Castagnoli powered up, but Allin transitioned into a rear naked choke at one point after he had him in a guillotine. Castagnoli then got free. I wrote that weird. I put threw him free. He charged at him, but Allin sidestepped. The Castagnoli crashed through the table in the corner he had set up. Allin then wore out Castagnoli with a chair shot, placed it around his neck, was going up top, and was cut off. Castagnoli stacked the chairs and delivered a avalanche gut wrench onto the pile. Only got 2, though. Castagnoli then at one point exposed the corner turnbuckle, wanted a slingshot, but Allin landed on his feet in the ropes and delivered a bounce back double stomp. His victory roll got a near fall as Castagnoli charged up. Allin then with a drop toe hold into the exposed buckle, went for the code red, but again only got a 2. Allin then quickly went up top for a coffin drop, then one more for good measure and picked up the victory. There we go. Darby does defeat Claudio, which everybody expected here, but fun match. Great match. I thought these two killed it. This was a main event. This was a good main event. Afterwards, though, Darby gets attacked by somebody in a hood. We learn it's Gabe Kidd. Talking again? He's just part of the Death Riders now. Oh, he's the hired gun for John Moxley. Moxley got to go hire another guy because he don't trust his own guys? Like, come on. He plants Darby down and hits him with an overhead suplex. Moxley and Shafir come out. They're calling the shots. Kidd picked up Allin, shot a double leg on Moxley, got in a few shots, but then Kid pulled him away. Allen sent Kid and Moxley colliding into one another before bailing and avoiding any more damage. Kid went after Allen and fought through the crowd. Moxley ultimately just left with Marina. This Kid was still trying to get to Darby, I guess. This was dumb. I didn't like this because it was like they're trying to double team Darby, but Darby got away, and then Moxley was just, okay, cool, he's got him, I guess, and leaves. Nothing. Like, what? You get this new guy, which is not really a new guy, but new guy for your group. This is another thing that didn't make sense. You have this great main event, and then you killed all that momentum at the end of the show with this dumb post-match angle. Like, Gabe Kidd shows up to attack. Moxley's telling him what to do. Marina's out there, and then they fight in the crowd, and Moxley just leaves. Doesn't say nothing, doesn't do nothing, does nothing. So, wasn't a fan of the post-match here at the end, the overrun. But I thought the main event itself with Darby and Claudio was fantastic. Fantastic. But with that, guys, that's everything from tonight's Dynamite. I know what I thought of the show. I thought it was good, not great. I thought there was a lot of good, there was a lot more good than bad. So that's a positive. But now let's hear what you guys thought as far as, I didn't get all the polls, but we got some of the polls here. As far as the community poll does go, 68% liked the show, 16% thought it was just all right, 17% didn't like it. As far as a live poll does go, 81% liked the show, 16% thought it was just all right, and 3% didn't like it. As far as Twitch does go, right in the middle. Everybody that voted thought it was just all right. So with that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining me here, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, I'll be back live on Friday for both the wrestling wrap-up and Friday Night SmackDown. Remember, SmackDown is starting early this week. They're in the UK. Use your VPN, and we'll watch it early and review it early all together. With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great week. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. All right, if you're still watching live on Twitch, we're going to hit parade.